it's not that they need the stock price to go up. They just need buying volume so they can dump their shares.
Are these still out there? Are these setups out there? How do I find them? Where do I begin? I'm asking for the listener, obviously.
Right.
But
okay, there are still stock promotions out there, and there are still pump and dumps, stock manipulation, and there are fewer of them now than there used to be. I think the SEC and the Department of Justice have done a good job, despite the idiocy of Canadians. The Canadian regulators, like for some reason,
specifically Canadian regulators.
We
love our friends to the north.
For some
nicest
reason,
people around.
They are most stock promoters come from Vancouver, British Columbia, or elsewhere in Canada. Why that is, I don't know. But anyway, U.S. regulators have done a pretty good job the last 5 years or so, really clamping down on some of the most egregious stock fraud. And so we talked about getting brochures in the mail. There's a guy who he pled guilty by the name, he was known as the mailman. And his companies literally sent out dozens of these mailers promoting stocks every year for years. And again, he's pleaded guilty. He's to criminal charges. He might go to prison for a little while, but he's probably cooperating. And right now, there's a bunch of prosecutions because there's a boiler room operator and a boiler room broker who are both cooperating with the Department of Justice. So you had this back in 2007 to 2012. It really was the Wild West. It seemed like anyone could do anything.
That's back in, you'd get those hard copy mailers and emails all the time. I mean, you talk about, again, if you watch some of, like, say, Tim Grittani's DVDs or Michael Goode's or Tim Sykes, I mean, they're talking about setting up all these accounts to capture all these emails for the promotion. And, it was the Wild, Wild West back then.
Yeah, and you would look at the most traded stocks on OTC markets every day, and 9 times out of 10, they would be pump and dumps. And you'd have promoted stocks, a $1 stock trading 50 million shares in a day, which is just insane. And you'd have to believe that a lot of that volume is fake volume, which I haven't mentioned yet. So one thing you can do if you're a stock promoter is, send out emails or mailers, or you can do online advertisements and say, hey, this is a great stock, buy it. Another thing you can do is you can just create fake volume, which is definitely illegal. It's manipulative trading. You have account A at broker 1 and you have account B at broker 2. Have a couple different people that are up here unrelated and have them trade the same shares back and forth.
Right.
And while they're going back and forth, have them drive the price up a little bit. And then day traders
if you're talking pennies a share, you might think, well, they're losing money, right? Yeah, they're losing money, but that's not the end game. Isn't to drive it up a couple pennies a share or 10 cents a share. They're trying to drive it up dollars a share or something. And
and also just to get the volume, get people interested in the stock. And day traders find it, they start trading it. And the people that do these stock promotions or pay for the promotions, oftentimes they'd get their shares for 1/100th of a cent per share. So it's not that they need the stock price to go up. They just need buying volume so they can dump their shares. And nowadays, you still have stock promotions. You still have email stock promotions. There's a lot fewer of them nowadays, and they're a lot smaller. And in terms of mailers, and you actually get in the mail, I think there's only been 2 this year.
Right.
There was one I just got I didn't get a few days ago. A friend got a few days ago. I just posted it on Twitter. It was some Canadian gold company.
Okay.
And the company itself paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for this mailer. And so that's a lot less common than it used to be. Email promotion is all the big promoters are gone. Some of them in prison, some of them got fined by the SEC, some of them are on the run from the law. And then you also have like online click ads. So if you search for stocks or you search for penny stocks on Google, you'll go look at the ads you see. You'll see some stuff like for investing, like brokerages. You'll see stuff for trading chat rooms. You may even see an ad for Tim Sykes or StocksToTrade or something like that. Or you might see an ad for Schwab or E-Trade. And you'll also see this stock is going to go up 100%, or this is our next hot runner. And then you click on that and you're taken to a web page that talks about how awesome this stock is. And then you scroll down to the bottom and look in the fine print and it says, we have been compensated by XLC LLC $40,000 to promote this stock for 1 month. And that's a stock promotion, and that's something that I'd be interested in short selling. There was one stock just a few days ago that had a nice drop. It was being promoted on through click ads. I want to say SMXC. I might be wrong on the ticker. I was not able to get shares to short, which we'll be talking about that very shortly. So I missed out on short selling it, but it had gone up slowly from 70 cents to $1.50, and in one day it dropped from $1.50 to 90 cents. And it's over the next month or two, it's probably going to drop all the way down to 20 cents. So it's really, you don't see the kinds of drops in real stocks that you can see in penny stocks. And
unless there's terrible news, which only happens a few times a year.
And it's not something like you can easily predict.
Exactly.
Or there's a big report out alleging fraud.
Yep.
And if you want to do that, sure, go ahead, but that takes a lot more work to figure out that an apparently real company is a fraud than to figure out that there's stock promotion going on a company that has essentially no assets.
So let's kind of bring this home again. The watcher, the listener, is most likely a new or maybe new to low price stocks. I mean, do you think that this strategy, kind of your original strategy, do you think it's viable today, or is it, or even more so, is it something that a new trader should be pursuing?
I'd say it's viable. You really have to have the right mindset to do it, and there's a lot of reasons it's hard to do.
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I still think it's great, and I've made a lot of my money this year from shorting pumps.
Okay.
Even though there weren't a lot of big promotions this year, there were enough that got a decent enough volume that I could take a significant position and then make 50, 60, 70% as the stock drops. And it doesn't take very many stocks like that.
And it's high risk or it's high probability.
Yes.
Too. That's the beauty of it.
Thanks for watching our video. Be sure to comment below with any trading related question. We love answering your questions. Also, like and share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to be notified as soon as our next video hits. And if you're looking to expand your trading knowledge, don't forget to check out all of our other videos, and be sure to click the trial below. Check out StocksToTrade. I think it is one of the best, most rapidly advancing softwares out there. Be sure to check out our trial.